Ready to get lost.
Lost in the eternal city that is Rome.
Always up for an adventure.
Well, buckle up, because in this deep dive, we're going to unearth the heart and soul of Rome.
Sounds exciting. But I have to admit, I thought I already knew Rome.
Oh, trust me. Rome has a way of revealing something new every time you turn a corner. And this time, we're going deeper than the gladiators and the emperors.
Deeper.
We're digging into that unique energy of Rome, where ancient history thrives in a modern metropolis.
You know, that is what's so striking about Rome, that history isn't just some story in a dusty book, it's alive.
Tangible.
Tangible. Exactly. You can reach out and touch it, feel the weight of centuries as you walk those streets.
You're right. I'll never forget my first glimpse of the Colosseum. It wasn't just the sheer size. It was the stories it told.
Gladiators.
Gladiators, emperors, public executions. Can you imagine the spectacle?
A stark reminder of the Roman Empire's power. And just a short walk from the Colosseum, you have the Roman Forum.
The heart of Roman life.
Imagine the political deals, the arguments, the daily rhythms of life that unfolded there. It's almost as if you can still hear the echoes of their voices.
It's mind-blowing to think that today you can grab a slice of pizza in the shadow of a temple built for Jupiter.
Right.
But Rome isn't just about its ancient past. Earlier you said something about Rome being like a layer cake of civilizations.
Yes. Rome has been a global center of power, faith, and artistry for centuries. It's this incredible blend of eras. Think about the Pantheon.
Okay, the Pantheon.
It began as a Roman temple, a testament to their inclusive belief system. Then centuries later, it was consecrated as a Christian church.
That's a big shift.
A physical embodiment of the shift in power and belief systems.
Wow. And it's still standing today with that incredible dome, a testament to Roman engineering.
Exactly. And that's what makes Rome so captivating, this constant layering of history.
A palimpsest.
Yes, a palimpsest of civilizations.
So we have pagan temples turned churches. What other transformations should we look for in Rome?
We'll take Castel Sant'Angelo, for instance.
It was originally built as a mausoleum for Emperor Hadrian, but over the centuries it served as a papal fortress, a refuge during sieges, even a prison.
Wow.
And today, it's a museum. Just imagine all of that Roman history held within those walls.
From mausoleum to fortress to museum. That's quite the resume. It really is remarkable, each layer adding to the experience. Like you said, a conversation across time.
A conversation echoing through the centuries. And speaking of conversations, let's talk about art.
Oh, yes. Roman art. It's legendary. The Vatican museums, those incredible Baroque fountains, Michelangelo, Raphael. Where do we even start?
Well, you can't talk about Roman art without mentioning the masters, can you? Michelangelo, Raphael, Bernini. Their legacies are everywhere you look.
Everywhere. Okay, let's talk about Michelangelo then. When you say his name, you think Sistine Chapel, right?
Of course. Have you seen it in person?
Only in pictures, but they don't really capture it, do they?
No, not at all. To really experience the Sistine Chapel, you have to stand there and just feel completely overwhelmed by the sheer scale of it.
Yeah.
The detail.
Imagine craning your neck to see God giving life to Adam, the colors so vibrant, it's almost a spiritual experience.
And that's just one small part of the Vatican museums. It's incredible how many masterpieces are housed there.
Raphael's School of Athens, classical sculptures, tapestries.
It's like an art history textbook come to life.
And then there's St. Peter's Basilica.
Ah, St. Peter's. Hard to miss that dome when you're in Rome, isn't it? Didn't Michelangelo design that too?
He did. And inside, Bernini's baldachin, this massive bronze canopy. And of course, Michelangelo's Pietà. It's incredibly moving.
It's amazing to think that these weren't just works of art. They were a part of life, reflecting the beliefs and ambitions of the people who commissioned them.
Absolutely. It's all interconnected.
And that connection isn't limited to museums and churches, is it? Think about something like the Trevi Fountain.
A masterpiece of Baroque design. And full of wishes.
Exactly. That tradition of tossing a coin over your shoulder, it's art intertwined with everyday life, you know.
It really is.
Speaking of everyday life, we can't talk about Rome and not talk about the food.
Ah, the food.
Those long, leisurely meals. There's something special about Roman cuisine, don't you think?
There really is. It's more than just sustenance for Romans. It's an expression of their history and their values.
Okay, give us a taste. What do we have to try when in Rome?
Well, you have to start with cucina povera.
Cucina povera.
The cuisine of the common people. It's about elevating simple, fresh ingredients into something truly extraordinary.
Constraints breed creativity.
Exactly. Take cacio e pepe, for example. It's just pasta, pecorino romano cheese, and black pepper. But in the right hands, magic. Or carbonara,
Carbonara, now you're talking.
a dish born out of using what you have on hand. Eggs, pancetta, cheese, but it's so much more than the sum of its parts.
And of course, no trip to Rome would be complete without pizza.
Roman-style pizza, thin and crispy, straight from a wood-fired oven.
Perfection.
And if you're looking for something on the go, you have to try supply. These delicious little fried rice balls, often filled with mozzarella and ragu, a true Roman street food classic.
I'm getting hungry just thinking about it.
Yeah.
And for dessert, well, it's got to be gelato, right?
Naturally. The perfect way to end any Roman meal.
You know, it's fascinating to think about. On one hand, you have Rome, the ancient city, the birthplace of emperors and gladiators, and on the other, you have the city that's the heart of the Catholic Church.
A global center of faith.
It's quite a contrast, isn't it?
It is.
Vatican City, St. Peter's Square, the Swiss Guard, the possibility of seeing the Pope. It's a lot to take in. And then there's St. Peter's Basilica itself.
Built over the tomb of St. Peter.
The scale of it really is awe-inspiring.
A testament to the church's enduring influence.
It really makes you think. But Rome isn't all about historical significance, is it? There's something about those everyday moments, those simple pleasures, that really capture the spirit of the city. It's la dolce vita, isn't it?
It really is.
Those piazzas, those cafes, you can just feel it. Everyone seems to savor every moment, every conversation, every sip of espresso.
The piazzas are like open-air living rooms, aren't they?
They really are.
Places to gather, to connect. It's where life happens.
Piazza Navona, the Spanish Steps.
Yeah.
And we can't forget Trastevere.
Trastevere.
What is it about that neighborhood?
Trastevere reminds you that Rome is more than just grand monuments and ancient history.
Why?
It's about getting lost in those little streets, stumbling on a hidden trattoria, enjoying a glass of wine as the sun sets.
It's magical. You never know what you might discover around the next corner. And speaking of discoveries, let's unearth some of Rome's lesser-known stories.
Okay.
What surprised you?
Well, for starters, there's the legend of Rome's founding.
Romulus and Remus.
Twin brothers raised by a she-wolf.
Raised by a she-wolf.
That's the story. They fought over the city's location, Romulus killed Remus, and, well, the rest is history.
Talk about sibling rivalry. And on the subject of dramatic events, we have to mention Julius Caesar.
The Ides of March.
His assassination really was a turning point in Roman history.
It marked the end of the Republic, the beginning of the Empire. But amidst all of those epic stories, there are these charming little details that make you smile.
Like what?
Did you know that Rome has more fountains than any other city in the world?
Really? I mean, I know Rome loves a fountain, but still.
Over 1,500, each one with its own unique history.
That's incredible. Over 1,500 fountains. So we've talked about iconic landmarks, hidden alleys, the food, the art.
The fountains.
The fountains. What is it about Rome that leaves such a lasting impression?
Rome forces you to reconsider how you think about time. The past and the present, they don't just coexist, they're interwoven.
Right.
You can be exploring ancient ruins, and then suddenly you're having gelato and a bustling piazza. It's a city that makes history feel incredibly real.
It's like the city itself is whispering stories, encouraging you to connect with the past. It's more than just a travel destination. It makes you think about your own place in the grand scheme of things.
It's a city that asks you to slow down, to appreciate the moment.
To embrace la dolce vita.
Exactly.
Well, as we wrap up our deep dive into Rome, I have one question for our listeners. What will you discover when you explore this incredible city? What stories will you unearth as you wander those ancient streets? Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, keep discovering.